Hello, welcome, Henry-Ann here. As many of you are continuing to coming through to the Zoom room, why don't we just give maybe another 10 seconds or so that once people get settled into the session, and then we're going to get rolling, okay? Another maybe like 10 seconds or so, just so people can come in smoothly, all in one settings, and then we're going to get started shortly. Okay, so it looks like from what I can see, the attendees are pretty steady now. I think many of you are in the Zoom room. This is a webinar format, so you cannot really come to the stage and speak, but you can speak in other ways, but I'll do the actual introduction. But some of you are still coming through, but I'm going to get started. Once again, welcome to Berkeley's Professional Certificate in Machine Learning and Artificial Intelligence program. I have my colleagues here. I'm going to introduce her shortly. I think it's interesting or important to get to know each other a little bit. So if you can share your name and where you are based, that will be helpful. Very simple. Please share that in the chat and then make sure that it's pointing to everyone, not just to the host or the speakers, so everyone can see you. And secondarily, if you have any questions, please, if you can see my cursor here, that under the Q&A box, please make sure that the Q&A section is dedicated for your question, because it's going to be more streamlined. We're going to be able to answer your questions, because sometimes if you put a question in the chat, it's going to be very difficult to follow. So in the chat, I'm seeing some of the names. And then once again, if I mispronounce your name, my apology. Shanyamal Gosh from Vancouver, welcome. Very little far from me, but it's very nice up there. I've been there many times. I've been from Dallas, welcome. Alpha, that's awesome. Paris, great place to be. Speaking of the Olympics in Paris, awesome place to be. Bazil from Austin, Ethan from LA, and then Dave from San Francisco. And there are many more. Please check out the names. These might be some of the folks that you meet if you decide to join the program. And then once again, if you have a comment, please make sure it's focused about the program in the chat. And then obviously, more importantly, if you have a question, please make sure that in the Q&A. How we're going to go is some of your questions will be addressed on the back end, will be answered, but at the end, we're going to do a little bit more of the live Q&A. Why don't we get started? Next slide, please. Okay, I speak enough. Let me introduce my colleague, who is a lot more important than me. Jessica, you are please.
Thank you, Henry. And hello, everybody. My name is Jessica. Yeah, so I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a learning facilitator for this course, and I've been working with Emeritus for the past 5 years, helping designing and teaching a variety of courses in data science, machine learning, data engineering, cloud computing, software development, a little bit of everything. And yeah, I'm really passionate about my job, and I do know this course very well. My background is in engineering physics, and I do hold a PhD in applied math, and I am based in Saskatoon, Canada. Thank you, Henry.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Next slide, please. And then once again, Henry, on here, I'm going to be the moderator. I know I've been seeing the attendees. Some of you are continue coming through. Just repeat one more comment. We don't need to go back to the previous slides. For those who would like just a simple comments or share your name, location, feel free to do in the chat. Make sure you point to everyone. And then obviously, if you have questions, please make sure that you hit the Q&A button. And then some of the Emeritus colleagues will be answering questions. And then we'll be also doing some live Q&A. Okay. Why don't we get started? Once again, here's the agenda. I'm not going to go through every item, but I'm going to just hit a few key ones, but the rest, you can see it for yourself. And obviously, Jessica will be going through in more detail. We're going to do a little bit of introduction about Berkeley, in particular, UC Berkeley's executive education, about the program, the third item, professional certificate in machine learning and artificial intelligence, right? Who is this program for? Some of the key takeaways of the curriculum, some of the program highlights, some of the coding activities, hands-on coding activities you might need to do, alumni benefits and certificate. There's a lot we need to cover. Please buckle up, and then we're going to get rolling. Next slide, please. Okay. University of California, in short, UC Berkeley was founded in 1868 in the heart of San Francisco Bay Area. And it has 45,000 students. And obviously, UC Berkeley by itself needs no introduction. So the business school, which is also known as the Berkeley Haas, was founded in 1898, the second oldest business school in North America. It has 6 degrees and executive education programs. And then all these programs are very top ranked. Next slide, please. This is the executive eds under Berkeley's mission. Through dynamic learning experiences, we energize leaders to challenge the status quo, to invigorate their organizations and transform business and the world. Yeah, that's it. So as many of Silicon Valley, it's actually in the heart of San Francisco, and UC Berkeley, it's also in San Francisco. There's also what I call the sort of the proximity advantage. Many of Silicon Valley, it's the hub of startups where innovations, tech giants like Google, Apple, Meta, and Tesla, where they reside, and also the home of some of the brightest minds in the tech world. Obviously, being in that ecosystem, it's got its own advantage. So once again, as I tell people all the time, you want to, do finance work. New York City might be a great place. If you want to do government work, Washington, D.C. is the place to be. I'm assuming in the States, and obviously there are many great places around the world. In the U.S., if you want to be in tech, emerging tech, certainly in Silicon. With that, I'm going to bring up my colleagues.
Thank you, Henry. And yeah, I would like to start by talking a little bit about the complex tech landscape that involves like machine learning and AI. And as like AI and machine learning has become extremely popular in recent year, and they have transformed and they are part of a variety of industry and everyday life. And of course, the importance of machine learning and AI and generative AI is virtually unlimited, and their application can be applied to pretty much every industry segment. This is the situation basically these days, and of course it is looking very promising for the future. And in fact, according to Statista, AI evaluation market is expected to reach $1.8 trillion by 2030. And of course, every global organization is actively recruiting IT professionals, especially the ones that do have a knowledge or a background in machine learning and AI to improve their technical applications and innovation. Next slide, please. And so I want to start introducing you and giving you a little bit of information about the program. So the program is designed to be completed over 6 months, and we do expect the average student to spend about 15 to 20 hours a week on each module. So it is definitely a little bit intensive, but it is a very rich program, and it's going to give you a solid background in machine learning and AI. And it is designed with the help and collaboration of the College of Engineering and the Haas School of Business of Berkeley. And some of the reason why this program was designed is that it gain hands-on experience on solving the real-world technical and business challenges using machine learning, AI, and generative AI, which is becoming extremely popular these days. And after completing the program, you will have knowledge of skills that will help you build a successful career in the machine learning field. Next slide, please. So who is this program for? So the program is essentially designed to give you the fundamentals knowledge about the application of automation and machine learning, and to explore the capabilities of AI and generative AI. So a lot of the learners that have taken this course are typically individuals that do have an IT or a engineering background, or they are already in the field, and that they want to unlock and explore careers and possible future opportunities within machine learning and AI. It can also be taken by data and business analysts who just want to learn more about machine learning and AI in general, and of course by recent science, technology, or just in general STEM graduates who want to enter the private sector and scale the positive impact of these evolving algorithms and technology. So some of the requirements to take the course is that the applicants must have a bachelor degree or higher, preferably in IT or in STEM or in data or business analytics. Strong math skills are definitely recommended because there is a lot of math that is at the foundation of machine learning algorithms, and of course some programming experience in Python, R, or SQL. Python is the programming language of choice for the program, but having a little bit of programming background in any language is definitely going to help. It is also recommended that you have a background in the STEM field, some technical work experience, and some knowledge about statistics and calculus. Next slide, please. So some of the key takeaways from the program, or essentially what you are expecting to learn by the end of the course. So you will develop a comprehensive understanding of machine learning and AI concept and identify which machine learning or AI algorithms are most suitable to solve that problem that it's given to you. You will learn about the importance of the machine learning and AI data science lifecycle and devise solutions to real-life problems within the organization. You will also interact and collaborate with industry experts to understand how machine learning and AI can be applied to business. And of course, you will also analyze generative AI model such as ChatGPT and test their efficiency. You will also explore innovative business application of generative AI, develop a market-ready GitHub portfolio that you will be using for maybe your future interviews or just to demonstrate your skills to potential future employers. And all of this will be done with the help of the UC Berkeley faculty. And at the end of the program, you will receive a digital certificate of completion from UC Berkeley. Next slide, please. So some of the program highlights about what to expect in the course. So you will be watching videos from the UC Berkeley faculty to gain insight about machine learning and AI algorithms. The program is designed to have a comprehensive curriculum. So we really designed the course to give you a very solid foundation of machine learning and AI with practical applications. Of course, it's very important to practice what you learn, right? The course is designed to have numerous hands-on assignments and activities that will challenge you to put into practice what you have learned throughout the course. The course is somewhat self-paced in the sense that the videos of the faculty are recorded, and so you can watch them at your own pace and as many times as you want to learn more about machine learning and AI. And next slide, please. You will also develop a capstone project. This is like the culmination and the highlight of everything that you have learned in the program. So this project is designed for you to put into practice all of the concept that you've learned throughout the course. Of course, peer networking. This is an online program, but we do have tools that will allow you to stay in contact with each other during the course and after the course. This is really a great opportunity to meet new people, network, and stay in contact. We also offer access to a career coach. This person will guide you to create and build your resume and your LinkedIn profile, and in general to give you guidance about how to find a job in the machine learning and AI field. And taking this program will definitely help you building a path for being Berkeley alumni. Taking this course will grant you the possibility to earn credits towards pursuing the UC Berkeley Executive Education Certificate of Business Excellence. And next slide, please. So I now want to go a little bit more into details about the curriculum, so what you are going to learn in the course. So the course is divided into 3 sections, okay? So the first section is the shortest one, and it's designed to give you an understanding and knowledge about the foundations of machine learning and AI. So in this section, you will learn the fundamentals, so how data is stored. You will learn about the data science life cycles, and you will learn how to draw and infer conclusions and results from data sets using visualizations. So some of the topics that are covered in this section is an introduction to machine learning, fundamentals of statistics and distribution functions, introduction to data analytics, fundamentals of data analytics, and then the practical application one, which is essentially a comprehensive assignment that will test you on the topics that you've learned in the first section of the course. And next slide, please. So section 2 is the bulk of the course, is where you are really going to get your hands on into applying and learning some of the fundamentals, machine learning and AI techniques. So in these modules or weeks in the course, you will essentially learn a lot about the different algorithms, how they can apply to different problems, and about their differences. So some of these algorithms include clustering and principal component analysis, linear and multiple regression, feature engineering, model selection, and regularization. You will also learn about time series and forecasting, classification, logistic regression, decision tree, gradient descent, and classification of nonlinear features. And in these sections, you will also have 2 practical applications assignments that again will test you on the comprehensive knowledge that you have learned in this section of the course. And next slide, please. And then in the last section of the course, this section is more focused towards more advanced topics and on the capstone project. So this section really focuses on more modern and more advanced machine learning and AI techniques. So you will learn about natural language processing, recommender systems, ensemble techniques, neural networks, and then an introduction to generative AI, such as recurrent neural networks and GANs. And at the end of this section, you will also ask to submit your capstone project, which, as I mentioned earlier, is the culmination of this program, where we ask you to demonstrate using a real-life application what you've learned in the course. And next slide, please. So more about the capstone project. The capstone project is built slowly throughout the program. So it's not that you have to do everything at the end for the capstone project. But the capstone project is designed to be created and developed with the knowledge that you learned week by week throughout the course. To pick a good capstone project for you, you will have access to industry experts that will help you identify a specific problem that suits your interests or your background. And they will also guide you with their expertise to develop the concept, the models, and to apply the tools that you've learned in the program to create a good capstone project. And by the end of the program, you will build a GitHub portfolio, which is an extremely important tool that you can leverage in work interviews or potential future employees to demonstrate your skills and what you have learned in the program. So some of the industry insights, the course also is designed to give you a deeper understanding of machine learning and AI models and application using real world industry examples. An example of this, of one of the industry examples that are used in the course is Peet's Coffee. So you will learn how this specialty coffee roaster and retailer in the San Francisco and Bay Area uses machine learning and AI to determine the location of new stores. And new slide, please. So a little bit about the hands-on coding activities. Again, as I mentioned earlier, you really want to practice the topics that you've learned throughout the course. And in the program, you will utilize different tools in order to practice what you've learned. So some of these include Python, Jupyter Notebook, and Google Colab. You will also use GitHub to build your portfolio and learn about some of the most important data science, visualization, and machine learning and AI libraries. So here we only have listed a few, so Pandas, Seaborn, and Plotly, but you will be using libraries such as scikit-learn and TensorFlow as well for machine learning and AI. And then finally, you will also be using Codio, which is an auto-grader tool that we use to grade your coding assignments. And next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, you will also have access to a career coach. In fact, transitioning to a career in machine learning and AI requires a variety of hard and soft skills that we will teach you and learn in the course. So Emeritus provides the following career preparation services. So you will have access to the career coach to learn how to craft your elevator pitch, navigating and selecting your job search and the job posting. You will also have help into create a good LinkedIn profile that stands out. This career coach will also help you with tips and tricks for interviews, resumes, and cover letters, and how to negotiate a salary. Some of the career exercises focused on launching a career in machine learning and AI. So you will practice job search and interviewing for machine learning and AI position and learn how to communicate machine learning and AI concepts via presentation skills. And next slide, please. So in the next two slides, I want to introduce you briefly to the esteemed Berkeley faculty that have helped us design this course. So the technical experts are Gabriel Gomez and Joshua Hugh. Gabriel Gomez is a researcher and lecturer with the Mechanical Engineering Department and the Institute of Transportation Studies at UC Berkeley. He holds a PhD in automatic control, and since then he has focused his research on various problems on modeling, simulation, and control of traffic networks. And Joshua Hugh has been working with the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science at Berkeley since 2014. He holds as well a PhD from UC Berkeley, and his research focuses on computational model of bacterial signal processing and decision making. And lastly, I want to talk about the business experts, Reed Walker and Jonathan Kolstad, who have also helped us designing the course and the real-world business application that you will see in the program. Reed Walker research explores the social cost of environmental externalities, such as air pollution, and how these contribute to gains or losses to the economy. And Jonathan Kolster research is focused on health initiative and working with the UC Berkeley Opportunity Lab to research about the intersection of health economics into industrial organizations and public economics. And I'm going to give it back to Henry now for the last few slides.
Terrific. Thank you, Jessica. In regard of upon completion of the program, the participants will get a digital certificate. Now, it will be, in order to satisfy the requirements for the certificate, you will need to complete 80% of the required activities along with the capstone project. And then it will count toward the certificate of business excellence, in which we'll go over shortly. Next slide, please. As mentioned, while you don't get the alumni status completing the program, but you would be actually earning credits for what is called the Certificate of Benefits Excellence, aka COBE. What are some of these alumni benefits? There'll be some networking events focused primarily for Berkeley alumni. There are some exclusive Berkeley resources in the middle. So in the age of upskilling or executive education, you get various discounts for future programs. So that, I think that will be a big benefit. And then also, on the very last year, on the right-hand side here, you get the news communication, so newsletter from the alumni Berkeley Haas. You join the job boards. That will be a lot of extra benefits for being alumni. And obviously, this program will be going toward the Certificate of Business Excellence and these benefits of alumni under the COE. Next slide, please. Okay, so just a little bit of recap. This is a immersive 6-month program. At the same time, it's comprehensive in both AI and ML, and it's very cutting edge. It's very much skill-based. I think some of you might be thinking about, okay, you know what, is it something like this appropriate, or is it maybe like a degree is appropriate? What I can mention briefly is in 6 months, relatively short time, you get some very technical skill sets. I think degrees are continuously to be important, but I think getting the appropriate skills are even more important to be ready for the job market, other than that really shiny degree from some university. Once again, I never meant to discount the degrees. I think it's still very relevant and important, but something of such will be able to upskill you very quickly to get more job-ready skill sets. Program, it's with Berkeley. It sits in the heart of Silicon Valley. Also, you will be having the benefit of communicating with industry experts like Jessica, along with some of the colleagues, career coaches, and your peers who are also taking the program. And I think the rest of those bullet points were already covered, so I'm going to go to the next slide, please. So let's do a little bit of Q&A. I think my colleagues will share the links for how to apply. And also, if you have further questions, you can actually schedule a call. So while Jessica was presenting, I was looking at the Q&A sections. I think there are a couple of themes here. Instead of really hit in each individual one, I'm just going to do just a little bit high-level comprehensive summary, and then we're just going to take a few that Jessica might be able to address. So once again, this is a 6-month program. And upon completion, you'll get your digital certificate. The completion rate is roughly 90%. Even from my experience, I think for people who just satisfy requirements doing the work, I personally do not see a reason why people do not complete. And upon completion of the program in 6 months, you will have access to the materials, the recorded videos online for about 12 months. I also see a consistent theme of some people said, I don't have any type of ML and AI background. Let me address that population. So let's take a look at what's the requirement. You need to have a bachelor degree, and then you need to have some basic math and some programming language. So those are like the basics you will have. And then obviously during the course, you will go over people, like there will be activities or curriculums that you can learn. And programming, that's what the program's about. Not entirely, but part of it. And I think if you don't have ML and AL, I think it's a great way to upskill. And then some, I also see as a different segment, saying some might have more technical. How is that going to help me or that population? Once again, you could be technical, but if you look at whether it's AI, ML, that's really nothing new. This technology has been around, but it's just been popularized, sort of catalyzed by OpenAI, which is the ChatGPT many of you know of. Now, you might or might not know, even though they're technical, generative AI, some of the applications, right? So it can help you to upskill, because if you look at the future jobs, some of the things that what Jessica shared, it's going to create a lot of value, first and foremost, and it's going to create a lot of jobs that demand these types of skill sets. So there are two camps, and then hopefully addressed those two camps. Now I'm going to just take some questions. I think it's relevant, and then something maybe Jessica can address. I think there was a question. I don't see it now. Maybe it's already addressed. Jessica, the program. The question was basically, I don't see it now, but the question was basically asking, does this program address more of the ethics compliance standpoint, ML and AI, please?
There isn't a module that focuses on those topics. We do mention some of the problems with ethics and AI at the beginning of the course. Throughout the course, we do always recall on that problem, and we do mention it to give the learners a better understanding of how ethics and AI can work together.
Awesome. And then also one of the repeating question I've been seeing is capstone project. I think you have touched upon that. Maybe if you can give them a little bit of flavor, that will help the learners hear what that project is about.
Yeah, so the capstone project is an individual project, so it cannot be done in groups. I saw somebody ask that question in the Q&A. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the capstone project is essentially the culmination of this program. Is essentially every learner has to pick a data set of their choice. This data set can be something that they take from their work, if they already have a career like in IT or data analytics and so on. If you don't have like a job that uses data, or that where you cannot use the data from your job, you can pick a data set from the internet about any topic that really interests you. The key is that you pick a data set and a topic that you know well, that you're passionate about, because that is going to make the capstone project more fun to develop. And this topic can be pretty much anything. So it can be, for example, about music, it can be about sports, the stock market. I have some learners in the past pulling data from Reddit or Spotify or YouTube to create their own data set, and then use the machine learning and AI techniques throughout the course to show the expected outcome of the capstone project.
Also, I think there's some concern about oftentimes when we hear executive education, it doesn't have to be exclusive, but we come to mind of learners who have been in the workforce for quite some time. They've been out of school for a while. They've been in the workforce for quite some time, and obviously they've been out of school for quite some time as well. Maybe can you address, there's some concern about, okay, you know what, I might or might not know a little bit of programming, math. Can you address that? I think that seems to be a consistent theme.
Yes. The program starts with the assumption that all of you have some fundamental coding knowledge. So we are not covering the fundamentals of Python. We start assuming that about loops and condition statements and dictionaries and lists and functions and all that. That is like necessary in order to start the course at a good pace. There are lots of online tools that you can visit in order to learn a little bit of the fundamentals about Python. We also do give you some resources that we do consider appropriate to review some of these fundamental concepts. Regarding the mathematical and statistical skill, you won't have to perform like mathematical or solve mathematical problems or statistical problems by hand, but some understanding of basic calculus and statistics will definitely help you understanding the background behind the machine learning algorithms. You also will have access to an online support system throughout the course. So if at any point something is not clear throughout the course, or you need some clarification, the support system will point you in the right direction, or will give you answers about the questions that you have.
Terrific. Thank you, Jessica. And then just something additional. Also, I think time commitment wise, a lot of people have some questions. How much time is it needed? typically it's between 15 to 20 hours. Certainly, one thing I learned just pursuing the various degrees, certificate program, you put in what you get out of. And then obviously, I think that's first and foremost, that's more personal. And then secondarily, it's also personal. If you have a technical background, it might take you a little bit less time. If you don't have a technical background, because there's a steeper learning curve, it might take you a little bit longer time. But on a very rough cut, 15 to 20 hours.
Yeah, that is the average time. Of course, there are modules that are more intense than others. So some modules may take 18 hours and other modules may be done in 10. That is also dependent, like learner by learner and on the background that they have. But yeah, it is definitely an intense course, but it is designed for you to learn a lot. And in order to learn a lot, you also have to put like some good effort and some time in it.
Absolutely. I think that's well said, Jessica. I think every time when you want to learn something, once again, one thing I learned consistent with what Jessica shared, something that you really want to learn, you got to put in the hours. I think there was just an old very cliche old saying, if you want to be really good at something, generally speaking, this is not very like truth Bible. You need to put in, let's say you want to learn a topic or subject, be really good at it. You got to put in 10,000 hours. Once again,
Yes.
I'm suggesting you will put in 10,000 hours. But I think it's more of a reference. As you want to be good at something, you got to just put in the time. And then on top of everything else, every time when you learn something technical, I just think it just requires extra. That's why oftentimes when you see a technical program, the duration of the hours required typically is longer for something than it's less technical or non-technical.
Yeah,
I think,
and
yeah,
and if I can say another thing, especially when it comes to coding and these like practical and technical applications, you only learn if you practice, right? Unfortunately, coding or machine learning or AI and implementing all those algorithms, you're not going to learn just by watching videos or reading about them. You really have to get your hands dirty and practice and do exercises over and over or assignments in order to learn everything about it.
Great. Jessica, I also see a common theme of this question. Let's say, for example, many of the potential enrollees or professionals whom are working. Now, they are busy with their own work. They might have a life outside, whether it's husband, wife, and kids, or so on and so forth. Can you talk about maybe, let's say, if they can't get done something or conflict, how does that work? Maybe you can share with them in terms of submitting the deliverables, or let's say if they ask for an extension, how do those work, generally speaking?
Yeah, like obviously we do understand that this course, it is time consuming, and we also understand that everybody may have a full-time job or a family or like life gets busy in general. So although the course is designed to be completed over 6 months, at any point in the course, if you are falling behind or you need some extra time to complete an assignment or an activity or a module, you can request an extension. Extension are always granted, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. And additionally, late submissions are not penalized. So if you submit an assignment late, for example, your grade will not be penalized by that. Although we do advise you to stay at pace with the course, because the lectures and the interactions with your peers and the learning facilitators do happen at pace with the course. If you need some extra time at any point, you can request as many extensions as you want.
Jessica, is it also, I think someone's addressing it, the grade typically, is it complete or not complete or pass fail? How do the grading works?
Some activities are graded on a incomplete way. Most of them, they are graded on using a rubric or a grading system. Some of the assignments are auto-graded. Okay, a lot of them are manually graded either by somebody on the grading team, or the most complex assignments are directly graded by the learning facilitator. So about grades also, if you want clarification about a grade, or you think that your grade is unfair, or you want some extra feedback, you can always reach out to the program support for clarifications about that.
Okay, terrific. Also, I think we have spent a lot of time talking about people when they have been in the workforce for quite some time. First population is not with a lot of technical skill sets, and then obviously another population with a lot of technical skills. We have addressed that. I think we do have a little bit smaller population in terms of people who are younger in their career, right? Whether they're just finishing college or really early in their career. Can you have any feedback or share any comments? How is that applicable or benefit to that sort of general that population?
I think that for people that are just starting, that maybe just finished school and they're just starting looking for a job, I think taking this course can be very advantageous to enrich their skill set, their resume, and also with the support of the career center that we have, they can really gain some important like insights and knowledge about the job market, how to apply for a job, and how to build an effective resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn profile.
Okay, great, terrific. I think when I look at the Q&A section, most of the questions, at least the core ones, I think is addressed something's really specific. So I'm going to probably just temporarily pause that. Do you have any further comments in regard to the program in general, maybe in closing, any remarks, Jessica?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah. So I think with the talented program, I see practically most of the questions addressed, at least the core ones. Do you have any sort of parting words for the participants here?
You want to be passionate about machine learning and AI and learning about those topics. Of course, that is fundamentals. They are very fascinating topics. So even if you have not a lot of understanding about machine learning and AI, the course start teaching you about them really from the fundamentals. And so even if you don't know anything about these topics, you can definitely take this course and learn from the basics and then build up your knowledge to the more advanced topics.
Terrific. Thank you, Jessica. So maybe in closing, I just want to make a quick comment. Once again, I think as we are looking in the future of work, or even now, I think there are some really prominent CEOs, whether it's in banking or different industry, in particular there's one really prominent CEO mentioned when he is looking to hire, he's looking to hire, if you bring to the camp, it's really skill-based versus degrees. Once again, it's never for me to discount the value of a degree. I think there's two significant value. But I think if you look at the landscape of future work, it's really, do you have the skill sets relevant for the jobs, right? And
yeah.
then this, go ahead, Jessica.
I was gonna say that the job market and what potential employers are looking for has definitely changed over the years. You are absolutely right. Like earlier, it was more important to maybe have a PhD in statistics or a master degree in data science and so on. Now it's definitely more important to have a rich skill set about machine learning and data science and have more practical knowledge about these topics.
Absolutely. And then lastly, for me, when I always remind everyone, people I talk to, I also teach ML and AI personally. Jessica does that very, very well. I do it myself. I tell people all the time nowadays, I don't know about your life. I presume that's assuming, I'm making an assumption that's correct in Jessica's life, and I'm assuming in many of you. For any given day now, I cannot hear the words or acronyms, machine learning, artificial intelligence, generative AI, at least a few times, 5, 6 times at a minimum, without going by the day. I don't think personally there might be some hype, but it's certainly not pure hype. We've seen applications coming out, use cases coming out every day. If you look at, let's say, whether it's a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that market, job market, value creation will increase dramatically in years to come. I think the programs as such might be beneficial to you. My colleagues have also shared the links again for connecting with an advisor and then potentially applying for the program. I want to thank Jessica for being an excellent presenter, sharing plenty of information. I want to thank you, my Emeritus colleagues, for supporting us from the back. More importantly, I want to thank every one of you for attending. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.